Hello, dealing with loneliness. Today we're going to talk about social connection. Do we really need social connection? On the left of the screen you'll see a pair of twins. That's actually me and my twin brother, and I had the benefit of growing up with a twin and just personally seeing the benefits of that connection that we've had and continue to have now, even though we're in different countries. By the way, guess which one is me? It is the one to the right of the screen. The other picture on the right hand side is of two newborns, and what was interesting is that one of the twin girls started to become unwell, and her vital signs started to plummet, and it looked like she was going to die, and they didn't know the cause. So one of the intuitive midwives said, okay, let's quickly put the healthier twin in the same incubator. And immediately, and this was never done before, immediately the vital signs started to improve and the child survived, and now these twin girls are adults. So do we need social connection? Absolutely. It's part of our makeup that we need close supportive relationships to survive and to function well in this world. What makes us happy? Is it lots of money? Is it good health? There was a study that showed happiness of lottery winners and happiness of paralysed accident victims over time. And what was interesting, the happiness level returned to the original level within 2 years. So for those super excited lottery winners, 2 years later, the level of happiness was the same as prior to winning the lottery. Equally, for victims who were paralysed, after 2 years their happiness level was the same as what it was prior to them being paralysed. So thinking about the connection between health, wealth and happiness, so which factors best predict a person's happiness? And so this study looked at factors predicting happiness over a 3-year period. And the conclusion was 1. Social connections, 2. Household income, and 3. Age. It was interesting with the household income, you just required a certain level, a minimum level, and beyond which then happiness didn't increase further. So it was just, okay, you need the essentials. And look, personally, I've seen people who are fairly poor and involved in some of my charity work overseas, and spending time with them, I've just been amazed at the level of joy and happiness they have, and equally being with maybe some other people who are quite affluent and not seeing that same joy. And lastly, age. I think a common misconception is that as we get older we're going to become more and more depressed and negative, but interestingly in this study it showed that older people actually became happier with age as well. So I think in terms of happiness, well, it's really about real relationships, and real relationships is about connection, emotional, human connection. So another contributor to happiness was spending time actually caring for others. So that's an interesting thing, that actually people who care for others are actually more prone to the feelings of happiness and joy. And then lastly, also the forgiving personality. And so people who generally forgive and let go of things and do not take revenge are happier. We'll finish off looking at a movie clip from the movie Forrest Gump. You may have seen this, and again it does just illustrate the need for human connection, and also to look at the example of Forrest Gump, who was a caregiver to his wife.
Hi.
Hey, Forrest. Were you scared in Vietnam?
Yes. Why? I don't know. Sometimes it would stop raining long enough for the stars to come out. And then it was nice. It was like just before the sun goes to bed down on the bayou. Those over a million sparkles on the water. Like that mountain lake that was so clear, Jenny. It looked like there were two skies, one on top of the other. And then in the desert, when the sun comes up, I couldn't tell where heaven stopped and the earth began. It was so beautiful.
I wish I could have been there with you.
You were.
I love you.
He spent a lot of time on his own, but what was interesting, he didn't exhibit those feelings of loneliness, and a lot of that was around the fact that he had this quality of human connection. So I hope this one is helpful, and just remember that we need this social connection and start to develop this in your own life.